Hey guys, Probo1701 here, and today we're going to have a discussion video. And what we're going to do is I want you to pick three stories you don't like in your favorite era of Doctor Who. So whatever your favorite era of Doctor Who is, pick three stories you don't like, and let me know down in the comment below what they are and why you don't like them, and why this era of Doctor Who is your favorite era of Doctor Who. Now, for my part, we are going to be looking at the Tom Baker era, because that is my favorite era of Doctor Who. Now, a lot of times I do separate his era into three different eras, the Hinchcliffe era, the Williams era, and his season 18 era. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to look at his era just as one big era, just the Tom Baker era. And I'm going to pick three stories from the Tom Baker era that I don't care for personally, from worst to best. And in third place is The Leisure Hive from season 18. Now, I do think season 18 is a very underrated season, and I do think The Leisure Hive is the only bad story in it. It has State of Decay, which I think is a masterpiece, and then it has a lot of other stories that are good to really great. I don't really care for The Leisure Hive. I don't really engage with the story. It doesn't hook me at all. I think the CSO work in it is really bad. Even for Classic Who, I think it's really bad. I don't understand why Underworld gets so much crap for its CSO, but this story doesn't, because the CSO is just atrociously bad here. I don't like the reptilian lizard creatures. Their costumes look really silly, even by Classic Who standards. Every time they're on screen, I'm just like, And the other aliens would die when the bells fall off. I think that's silly. I don't know. This one just doesn't interest me at all. But luckily, after it's over, the rest of the season is good from there on out. Number 2 on the list is the Android Invasion, which is, I've mentioned before, is the only one in the Hinchcliffe era I don't really care for. I think the Hinchcliffe era is the best era in all of Doctor Who. I think it's almost flawless. Of the, 17 or so stories in it, I do think Android Invasion is the only dud. Aside from me not really finding the story that interesting, the whole aliens creating, a bunch of androids, just so they can kind of predict the outcome of what happened if they invade, or to infiltrate and take over. It doesn't work for me. Kind of reminds me of Extremis a little bit, but I think Extremis does it better, because the whole digital part of it's kind of hidden until the end. It's a nice little reveal at the end that they're all really just digital copies. I like that a lot better than this. One of the main reasons it rubs me so wrong is that it's Benton's and Harry Sullivan's last story, and I don't think they get a good send-off. I don't like what's kind of done with their characters in this story. I think they deserve better. I think the last time we see Benton, he gets knocked unconscious, or else when they find him, he's unconscious. I think the last time we actually see Benton is the android Benton, not the real Benton. I think the real Benton's knocked out. And then Harry doesn't really say much in his last scene. So I do feel like they deserved a better send-off. Plus, it's a huge elephant in the room that the Brigadier is not there. I mean, it's such a hole in the story that the Brigadier is not there. I get they couldn't get Nicholas Courtney, so there's not much they could do about that. But him not being there is so palpable and noticeable that it hurts the story. And it doesn't make sense in the story, because you'd think if these aliens were going to predict what it would be like to invade and to have people infiltrate in, you would want an android of the Brigadier. Even if the real Brigadier was called away, they should have an android of the Brigadier there. So it doesn't make sense for an android of the Brigadier to not be there in the universe. And it just, all these things together just kind of makes the story fall apart to me. Plus, when the androids, like when their face falls off, they go from looking like real people because of the actors playing them to just a dummy mannequin with the face on the ground, and then so they put the mask back on, they suddenly look like real people again. Again, it's Classic Who, but for some reason it bugs me. I don't know why, but it just bugs me. I don't engage with this one. And then number 1 on the list, of course, is The Power of Kroll. I've gone on about The Power of Kroll before. It's the one Doctor Who story that I can just outright say I hate. I do think it's Tom Baker's worst story. I don't blame the script. And again, the script is by Robert Holmes, and on paper, I think the script is pretty good. I'm not saying great, but I think pretty good. Just if I was reading it as a novelization, I'd probably like it. Like if I'd never seen the episode and just read it as a Target novel, I could see myself enjoying it. It's the execution that is so bad. I really feel bad for Robert Holmes on this because they just butchered his story. Because they don't have the budget to do this kind of story. They honestly shouldn't even have attempted this story. Every time you see the giant squid on screen, it looks bad. That one little horizon line where you can tell all this is the model and all this is the people, it's so blatantly obvious. The effects are bad. The green paint on the people who are supposed to be green looks really bad. It is the perfect example of a good script with a bad execution, which is the exact opposite of the God Complex, which is a bad script with a good execution. So yeah, I don't like The Power of Kroll. That's the one Tom Baker episode I would avoid. I'd watch Android Invasion and Leisure Hive before I'd watch that, although Leisure Hive is still pretty watchable. So those are my three stories I don't like in my favorite era of Doctor Who, which is the Tom Baker era. Now, I'd like to know what you think. I'd like to know 3 stories you don't like in your favorite era of Doctor Who. Now, I know some of you who subscribe also do channels of your own. I would love for you guys to post response videos. And then shoot me a link down in the comments because I'd love to have a chance to watch your videos in response to this video. So if you're watching and you're one of the guys, you're one of the other channels who do a lot of Doctor Who videos or sci-fi videos, I'd love for you guys to record a response talking about the 3 stories you don't like in your favorite era of Doctor Who and shoot me a link to those so I can watch them. If not, I'd just like you to comment down below and let me know. This video is all about starting discussion, get a discussion rolling. So other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I have started a Patreon page, which I have revamped recently. The entry level tier I added is just a little $2 tier if you just want to contribute $2 a month. I also have a $5 tier, a $10 tier, a $15 tier, and a $20 tier. Some of those, I think it's from the $10 tier and up, you get to do video request. And so if there's ever a video, you're like, I really want to see him do this video, consider checking that out because I do take video requests for all of my patrons. I have actually got my first patron recently, Michael. I really appreciate him joining. That really made my day. A very special thank you to him. I'm be glad to have some more people join. Really helps contribute to the importing since I live in the States. So there's a link to that down below. Make sure you check that out as well. Most importantly though, stay safe out there. And thank you for watching.